A humanitarian application, compassionate applications. Humanitarian and compassionate applications are a very rewarding way of getting landed. It means that you're really special, or that the average Canadian believes that you deserve to be shown compassion because of an unusual, undeserved, or disproportionate hardship. It has to be something really unusual to show that you're going to suffer if you're removed to your country. It's not something where it's a risk to life or torture if you're removed to your country. It is a logical reason that you deserve compassion. A very good example of this is China. China has really unusual family planning policy. They have family planning policies for the one-child policy. There are people in China who make about $6,000 a year, and they can get fired and fined $35,000 for having one additional child. If you search the internet, you can find examples of people fined $100,000 for having one extra child. You can also find that that person's co-workers was also fined just because one of their co-workers had an extra child. The main thing that I deal with is unwed mothers from China. What happens is, if you are single and you have a child, it is against the law. You're not allowed to have a child in China unless you're married. And if you do have a child in China and you're not married, you can be fined up to 6 times the disposable income for your province. So even if you're in Canada and you're not married and you have a child, if you're returned to China, you are facing huge fines of approximately equivalent of 140,000 Canadian for one child. Then the fine increases if you've had more than one child. That doesn't mean that any woman who comes to Canada can have a baby and be allowed to stay. Each case is based on its own merits. You have to prove that the law is the law and that there is no changes in the law. You have to prove everything in a humanitarian compassion application. If you say that a family of above quota children is going to be fined, you're going to have to find examples on the internet and everywhere else that proves above quota children parents are fined excessively. Being from a country where unwed mothers are fined and treated and called names on the street, and the child's not allowed to go to school, especially if the mother's been in Canada for 4, 5, 6, 7 years and has settled abroad. If the mother has settled abroad,